Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mio's Delightful Kitchen. In this video, we're gonna make some lalo. I know I made lalo with you guys before. We're gonna make it again and we're gonna simplify it this time. All right, get your pan and add some oil to that pan. Now, as you can see on that bomb on the other side, I had my meat already seasoned. We're not gonna go over that again. Now, once your oil get hot, what you do now, you don't have to do that. What I did now, I added some eshallot, some onion basically. I added some eshallot on there and some tomato paste. Yes, tomato paste. Now make sure your oil get hot. Now don't just put it in there, make sure it's hot. Now once it's hot to the point that it's not gonna peck that oil on you, y'all know I'm not with that super hot oil. Add your tomato paste with your eshallot, or you can just cut up some onion, you can cut up some bell peppers. I don't like when my lalo have a lot of bell peppers and stuff like that, but it's my choice because I use a piece in my seasoning and all of that is already blended in mine. So you do yours however you please. But what I did, I fried some eshallot along with my tomato paste so I can add the meat in there, y'all. So I can add the meat in there. Listen, this step is easy to me. Okay, now you tell me what you try differently. As you can see, the first time I did it, I didn't do it like that. So I'm gonna put my meat, my seasoned meat, it's not cooked yet, I'm gonna put it in the oil and basically give it a little stir. Not frying it, but I put it in there and I stir it, make sure it gets to the little color that I want, and before I add my vegetables to it. Trust me, once you guys do this one, you're gonna be like, oh wow, this is actually easy, because a lot of people make a big deal about lalo. To me, I feel like lalo have one rule. That one rule is to cover it and not let it prend vent, not let it air out. To me, that's the only rule there is in lalo. But of course, you have to keep trying, you have to make it before you actually get the hang of it. I can pretty much say now, you know, my lalo has been good and I'm a lalo maker. Like my friend Rosaline would say, yes, a lalo maker. Now, she's the bomb at making lalo, but you know what? Now I can say I can make lalo pretty good. And everybody who try my lalo, they love it. So I'm gonna go with that. Anywho, now I have my my seasoned meat in the oil. Stir it, give it a little toss here and there, and basically that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't have to add water, you don't have to have any of that, because once you cover your lalo with your vegetables, basically your meat get cooked to there, because I'm gonna touffe it for 2 hours. 2 hours is usually good for me. Now in this meat, I have some salted pigtail. I have, that's the best I'm gonna get when it comes to viansali. I love the viansali taste in lalo, but of course I'm not, you know, home where I can get the real viansali, so the salted pigtail, that actually helped. And I have some oxtail. That's all I have here. And then of course I'm gonna add the crab later, but right now that's all I season. My crab is seasoned somewhere else. I don't like when my crab is overcooked, so I went ahead and go with that. Now we know we're not in lalo season anymore, so therefore I had to add some cut leaf spinach. I had to add some of that because so I can get more lalo. Now you don't have to add that. If you have enough lalo, you don't have to add spinach, but I did because you already know it's my business. All right, but it was good. Now what I did with my lalo was already cut up. It was washed, cut up in small pieces, and I put it in the freezer. As you can see, the bags were not full because I leave room to beat it with a mashed pilon. Although I cut it, but you know, when it's in the freezer, it's frozen. So it's easier to get cut in smaller pieces, you guys. You just grab a mashed pilon and hit that joker. Let me tell you something, it's gonna break because it's frozen. It's gonna break into that bag, and there you have it. It's already in small pieces. I didn't have to do a lot of work with that. Now another work with making lalo, of course, is cleaning it and then chopping it up. That has already been done before I put it in the Ziploc bags and put it in the freezer. So if you have to go through that process, I'm sorry to hear that it's going to take you much longer to make your lalo, because the time is in the cleaning, in the cutting, in the, you know, putting it to the side, basically prep it. But I didn't have to do a lot. A lot of the prep didn't have to be done. I had it in my freezer. So basically you add your lalo until you get to the point. Now I don't like to add a lot of water. If I need a little bit of water, I can add later. I don't like when my lalo is too watery. So once I added all my leaves on my to the pan, I just clean. You see the container that I had the seasoned meat. I still have the rest of the seasoning next to it in the thing, in the bomb. So I just rinse it with a little bit of water and use that seasoned water and put a little bit of water over it before I touffee. That's it. That's basically it when it comes to lalo. Well, I'm not gonna lie. That's not it. You have to know what you're doing. Like I said, the hardest part for me, for anybody that's making lalo, is the touffeeing part. If you let it air out, honey, your lalo will be hard. If you uncover it, I usually give it 2 hours. Some people say they don't even give it 2 hours, but it's you. But I check my time and I give it 2 hours. Touffee, don't put it on low. Don't remove the lid, and you're good to go. By the time you uncover it, your lalo should be soft. Your meat should be done, and it has worked for me. So I don't know. You tell me what you do and how you do it differently. Basically, that's it. That's it. You see how I'm putting the water in the pan, because I wanted it over the vegetable. Now, when you cook your lalo like this, you may not be entirely satisfied with the taste after you uncover it. That's when you fix it. Because when it comes to the taste, you know your seasoning is good, your meat is seasoned very well. But when you put the leaf's gonna take some of that seasoning, and you may not be entirely satisfied with the way it tastes, and it's okay, because once you uncover it, that's when you can dress it up. Basically, you add anything that you want to add, your garlic, your Maggi, oil, anything that you want to add in addition to what you've added at the beginning. Now, I don't know how many of you grew up in Haiti. When you touffee something, you put the mashed pilon over it. Yep, that's what I did. I went ahead and put the mashed pilon over it. I didn't have any more of those bags that I touffee it with, but because it wasn't like over the chaudière, you know how it's go all the way on the top, that you can even put that over it. In my case, I didn't have to put the plastic, so I didn't have it anyways. I didn't have to put it because the amount of lalo I was making was able to leave room for the cover to sit tightly on top of the chaudière. Now this is after 2 hours. As you can see, I go straight for the bottom because the bottom may be a little hot. It wasn't burned, but of course some gratin was starting to make because it's been covering for over 2 hours. You see how lacol the lalo is? That's when you do your mixing. That's when you do your dressing. And listen, in my term, the dressing is the tasting, making sure it's got enough salt, enough pepper, it's got enough. The seasoning is to your liking, because let me tell you something, I season my food. Anybody who know when I cook, I season my food. Because, excuse me, it's got to taste good. And you do the toasting and turning because you don't want it to burn. Now at this point, if you feel like it's too dry, you can add a little bit of water. My mom taught me not to add water right in the middle of my food. So you can add a little bit of water to loosen the bottom a little bit and basically let it consume. This is right after you untouffee. It's not even done yet. I think after this step right here, I went another 45 minutes to an hour with the touffee, not touffee, but you put the lid over it and let it consume until you get that black oil. Until you get that black oil, you let it touffee because it's not done. But at this point, you see how I'm tasting it, making sure it's got the seasoning, it's got salt, it's got Maggi, it's got garlic, onion, whatever you want to put on there to make it to your liking. Now, my kids usually like, oh, I don't like lalo because it's sally. A lot of people do make their lalo sally. So that's when you don't go too much on the cooking of the leaves. You add those things, after. And listen, it wasn't sally. It was very good. It was very settled. I added my seasoning. Y'all know I love garlic and onion powder. So listen, I went generously with the garlic and onion powder because of course it's my business. I did in my seasoning I added all of those seasoning. I didn't add Maggi in my seasoning prior when I was cleaning the meat, but here I added sazon. I added all the juicy seasoning that's gonna give me the taste that I'm looking for, especially a little bit of cayenne pepper because for whatever reason I put 2 peppers in there. It wasn't spicy. And I wasn't even looking for extra spiciness. I was just looking for some kick because ain't no lalo with no kick. So I added some cayenne pepper, paprika and all of that, all of those seasoning. I didn't put the name of the seasonings here because I feel like when it comes to seasoning, if you're somebody who seasons your food, you have to choose what's best for you, the taste that you want to go for. So therefore, I feel like it's pointless to add the seasoning that I put unless I'm making something very special, like something I'm trying to make, like some special dish that we don't usually do. Then I'll add the list of the ingredients. But when it things like that, when it things to your liking, your seasoning, the most important stuff, I will tell you what it is. But as far as the seasoning, I don't do that. And I added my crab. As you can see, the crabs were in season because I'm not with the non-clean crab. These were indeed frozen crab. For whatever reason, my local grocery store lately, they haven't had live crabs. Every time I go to their meat department and ask them for live crab, they're usually out. So I didn't have a chance to have live crab. And I told you guys before, I don't know if you guys remember, I don't care for crabs. I just like to taste it in my food. So therefore, I went with just regular blue crabs. And as you can see, you see how I'm adding the water because I feel like it was a little too dry. Because I'm gonna cover it. It's gonna cook for another 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I didn't really check the time, but I added a little bit of water so it can be a little alcohol, not too dry. Because too dry, you're gonna eat it with rice. I don't do sauce pois. Although I made sauce pois, but I like my lalo just the rice in the lalo. All right, now don't come for me. Do not come for me. I like my lalo with just lalo and white rice. But some people love their rice with it, the sauce pois with it, and it's no problem because I made sauce pois for the family. As you can see, you uncover it, you give it a little toss and turn. You see that black oil? Yeah, that's when you can actually start tasting your lalo. Because once you have that black oil, listen, you en route for it to be done. You see how alcohol the lalo was? Listen, Listen, Linda, look at this. Look at this. I think I did an excellent job with this one. Very, very good. Look at it. You make sure the water goes on the bottom. That's why I keep going like that with the spoon, because I didn't want it to cool. And my stove was still on low. All that cooking, my lalo cooked all the way on low. We never went on high. Because I'm not gonna come on maman kon di encore comme si l'on chaud des bagages là ou sauter bagages là liquide bien vite. Lalo, you have to have time to cook it, and once you have that down pack, there you have it, your lalo, Amia's delightful lalo. It was delicious. Baptista come see my brad, no you guys. It was good. It was good. Look at this. A lot of strength now. A lot of strength. That's practically it. Listen, when I was taking this shot for you guys to see the bubbling, to see everything in there, I'm like, I hope my phone don't fall in there because that would not be funny. There you have it. You see how your leaf is like so laggy. It's not red. There you have it. Try it. The fiancale part, guys. If you have fiancale in your local grocery store, go ahead and try it. You see? You see how lacquer that is? That's how lalo. Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys the final product, of course, when I set it on the table. But remember now, for the videos to keep coming, I need you guys to like, subscribe, turn on your notification box, send those videos to your friends, support your sister. This is something that I'm doing for fun. I love to do it. I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy doing it for you guys. And it's a therapy for me. It is. It is therapy for me. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. Turn on your notification box, and I will see you guys on the next video.